Is Financial Literacy, section 6.7. Lecture, we are on page 251. All right, this section is called Depreciating a Car. And car depreciation, we have talked about depreciation before. It's the decline in value of anything, but in this case, a vehicle over time. So section 6.7.1 is average annual depreciation. Let's see. Okay, we'll call that AAD from now on. So the formula, it's kind of common sense. Average annual depreciation is original cost, so what you originally pay for the vehicle, minus the trade-in or the resale value. Okay, it's the original cost minus what you're about to get for it when you sell it over the total number of years. Okay, so a little bit of vocabulary, but not much. Resale value is just the market value of a used car or truck. You know, it's what you could get from a private individual if you were to put it on Facebook Marketplace or advertise it on cars.com or something like that. All right. The trade-in value, now, this is, a lot of times people don't want to go to the trouble of trying to sell their car. So they traded, when they go to buy a new vehicle, whether it be a new or used vehicle, they'll take their old vehicle and just trade it in and get credit on the new car. So that's the credit a dealer gives toward the purchase price of a new car. And it's usually less than the resale value. Okay, pause the video if you need to catch up, and we'll go to example problem A. Okay, in your notebook, we're still in 6.7.1. So example A on page 251. Okay, so I used the student book, which has larger type, so hopefully you can see this a little bit better. So Roland Corbett bought a new car for $19,500. He's been told that his car will probably be worth $9,800 at the end of 2 years. Wow, that's a lot of depreciation. What will be his estimated total and average annual depreciation for 2 years? Okay, well, the total depreciation, you're just going to subtract. I'll just label that DEPR. So it'll be the original price, $19,500, minus what the car is worth at the end of 2 years, $9,800. And that is not, that car did not hold its value very well, did it? And that is $9,700. Must be a Fiat or something. All right, hopefully none of you drive a Fiat, then you'll be mad at me. Okay, and then the average depreciation. Let's see, we call this AAD, right? Average annual depreciation. So that's going to be the depreciation, which we just figured out, that $9,700 over 2 years. So that is $4,850 per year. Okay, let's look at example B right underneath. All right, that one says Genevieve Prakova. Genevieve, interesting name. Always like that name. I hate to spell it. Bought a car 9 years ago for $14,130. She sold it recently for $1,800. What was the total and average annual depreciation on the car? All right, well, I mean, we're doing the same thing here. The total is going to be the $14,130 that she bought it for, minus the $1,800 that she sold it for in the end. So I like Genevieve. She keeps her car. She runs the wheels off. Right? It's not worth very much at the end. So that's $12,330. That's what I like to do with my cars. I'll drive until they're not worth a crap. And then the average annual depreciation would be that total depreciation, $12,330. And how many years are in the problem? She kept it 9 years. Nice job, Genevieve. And that is $1,370 per year. Okay, the next section. All right, I'm about to erase. (6.7.2) is depreciation rate. All right, that equation, depreciation rate, is equal to the average annual depreciation. So AAD, what we just did, divided by the original cost times 100. So it's not. It's just a different way of expressing, what we were just talking about. So let's look at example C on page 252. New car that costs $23,000 is worth $16,100 a year later. What was the rate of depreciation for the 1 year? All right, well, the average annual depreciation, AAD, that's going to be the original cost of $23,000 minus the $16,100. But this math is not hard because they only kept it a year, so, or they had only had it a year. So the average annual is just going to be it looks like $6,900. Let me check my math real quick. So 23,000 minus 16,100. So yes, 6,900. And then the depreciation rate would be equal to the average annual depreciation, 6,900, divided by the original cost, 23,000, times 100. All right, and that is 30.4%. I'm going to double check that real quick because in my notes I accidentally had a typo. So we got 6,900 divided by 23,000. Yeah. So that is actually 30%. They didn't catch me in that last year. They weren't paying attention. Okay, and then example D. We are almost done. Says Billy Macon. All right, Billy Macon sold his car for $368. Usually a running car, no matter how old, is worth at least $2,000. So $368. This thing must have been a total rust bucket, rattle trap. Probably had weeds growing up in it. Maybe some fish were swimming around in it. So he paid $9,200 for the car when he bought it 12 years ago. What was the annual rate of depreciation? But I'm impressed with Billy Macon. All right, his average annual depreciation. He paid $9,200 for the car. He got a whopping $368 when he sold it. He had it for 12 years. So the average annual depreciation was $736. So then the depreciation rate is going to be that average annual depreciation, $736. Simoleons, clams, divided by what do you pay for it? $9,200 times 100. And then your calculator would say 8%. Pretty good. That's a very... Billy definitely got his money's worth. Only 8% a year. All right, that is it. Let me erase this. I'm going to write the homework down. And if we have any evens, yeah, I'm going to give you those answers in just a second. So pause the video if you need to. All right, the homework. This is on the Weebly website also. It's on page 253. 7 through 11 odd. 12 through 14 all. 15 through 21 odd. And then 23 through 25 all. I need to give you some even answers, so I need to get the teacher's book for that. So we need to give you answer number 8, number 10, 12, 14, and 24. Give me just a second. All right, so sorry about that. So we're on page 253. Okay, so number 8, the answer is 16,236. Number 10, 23,447. Number 12, 10,350. Number 14, 19%. And number 24,